Greetings, Alabama Notaries. Michelle Riley here with Notaries for Alabama, coming back to you today to dive a little deeper into Alabama's new Notary Accountability Act. Some of you know about this new law as it is um, being referenced as, and I need to correct the slide, Act number 2023-548, formerly known as Senate Bill 322. Governor Kay Ivey signed the bill into law on June 14th, and it will affect all commission notaries on September 1, 2023. This is my second video that I'll be uploading to YouTube as another means of getting the word out throughout the state of Alabama. The changes are pretty significant, and I'm not sure yet what the probate judges' offices are able to do in such a short amount of time. For those who do not know me, I am a notary here in Madison County. I'm also the owner of Notaries for Alabama. I've been training notaries around the state since 2013. This is the second video. I did an introduction to this new law, I want to say a couple days ago. And now what I want to do is dive a little deeper into parts of the law and not try to cover the whole thing in one video. I think that that is best. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to try to keep this right around 15 to 20 minutes. What happens on 9/1/2023? I think what's most important for all of us to recognize on September 1st, all commissioned notaries will be subject to new stipulations and guidelines that instruct us how to notarize, when to notarize, when not to notarize signatures. So it is imperative that you take the time to read the law to make sure that you are complying with the new guidelines. Why? The penalties for not adhering to the guidelines are significant. Those of you who perform notarizations for an employer, I want to encourage you to request a meeting and allow all of the notaries to get together to talk about these different requirements and how at your place of employment, how the notary team will approach each one. I think that would be a great opportunity for discussion and coming up with a game plan, because some of these requirements are going to be difficult for notaries who've not had formal training to abide by and to adhere to, or even perhaps to understand. All right, I'd like for us to go back to 9/1/2023, new guidelines for everyone with a commission notary. And then the other change is that the way that you obtain a notary commission, whether you're brand new or renewing, will also change significantly. And this morning, we're going to just focus on the new application fee and the notary surety bond. And then we'll save the next two for another day. Those of us who are already notaries, we know what the process is. I think I'll be coming up to my 6th or 7th term as an Alabama notary. And typically, I wait until the week that my commission expires, because I am also a licensed insurance agent. I log on to a website, click a few buttons, and purchase my surety bond. And keep in mind, I'm in Madison County. I take that bond, my ID, I go to the probate judge's office, and within 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, I walk out with my new commission for the next 4 years. Well, that's not how it's going to happen when I renew next year. The requirements will be significantly different, beginning with the application fee. And by the way, what I should have mentioned is when I go to renew my commission, I do pay a recording fee or a commission fee to the probate judge's office. I left that out. So what's new is, in addition to the recording or commission fee, and keep in mind that amount is different depending on which state you reside in, all right? So what I pay in Madison County is going to look different from what you all in Mobile, Jefferson County, Bullock County, Lawrence County pay. But in September, we all 67 counties, the notaries will be required to pay a $10 application fee when we either apply for a brand new commission or if we are renewing our notary commission. This is separate from that recording fee, all right? And it is called an application fee for a reason, because there will be a new application form that we must complete and provide personal information. And now the probate judges have the authority to review the application and decide whether or not to approve it. So there is discretion allowed now on who becomes commission. Keep in mind, in the first video that I did on this topic, I talked about how we got here and what may have led up to this. And so if you haven't seen that, go back and view that if you would. One of the reasons for the application to be denied will be if we notaries do not complete a new mandatory training class within 30 days of submitting the application. Now, I'm not going to get into what that training is going to be about right now. That will come on a different day. But I'm mentioning the training now because the timing of that, of completing that, is so important. As soon as you submit that application, the clock will start ticking and you will need to get yourself scheduled for the training and complete the training in order for your application to be to move on to the next step. Okay. What we don't know right now, or what I don't know right now, is whether or not the application form will be paper or online. If you're wondering why I think that is important, again, it comes down to the timing. Currently, I have to make only one trip to the Madison County Probate Office to renew my commission. But with this new application fee, or who knows, if it's paper, it might require 2 trips to the probate office. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that there will be a website or link on every county's probate office website where we can complete the application online, submit it electronically, and pay the fee electronically. That is my hope. So that's one thing. The second thing that we'll talk about today is the notary surety bond requirement. Today, which is June 29th, 2023, the surety bond amount that notaries need to be commissioned is $25,000. Now, that doesn't mean it costs $25,000, but that is the amount that could be payable to someone, the signer, the customer, should I make a mistake and my mistake, my errors cause the customer or the signer financial harm. Shockingly, this new law increases the bond amount to $50,000. Why do I say it like that? Alabama already ranks among states with the highest bond amount. I think there may be one other state that has a $25,000 bond. But when we go up to a $50,000 bond, we will be the highest. That will be the highest in the United States. I think that is significant because think of the whole purpose of a bond. When someone is accused of a crime and is arrested, and they don't want to stay in jail, they must post a bond. And you know, the amount of the bond increases with the severity of the crime or the charges. And so for this new law to say to notaries, based on some factors, a $25,000 surety bond amount just wasn't enough. We're bumping it up even higher. Today, when I buy a $25,000 Alabama notary bond, the cost is $50. There is a good possibility that the cost for a $50,000 bond will be more than that. And so those of you who are the financial whizzes, okay, you don't have to be a whiz. We've got a $10 application fee. That's $10 more than I had to pay 4 years ago. Now, the strong possibility that I will have to pay more than $50 for the new surety bond, and we aren't even through everything yet. I did reach out to CNA Western Surety. That's who I write bonds for, notary bonds for. They are deciding now if there will be an increase in the cost to notaries. So again, those of you who are notaries for your job, you may want to, I encourage you to let your employer know about this new change so that they can prepare, especially companies that employ many notaries, so they can plan accordingly. And yes, it is possible that the surety companies that sell the bonds could even include some type of underwriting requirement or check our credit worthiness for this additional bond amount. And so that's why I have on there to be determined. The notary surety bond is a big deal because keep in mind, should I make a mistake on a notarization and the signer is financially harmed, they are well within their rights to demand payment or restitution for my actions. And I'll be honest with you, it would be extremely difficult for me to come up with $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 today to address the harm caused to a customer or a signer, let alone me coming up with $50,000. Why? Since I don't have that in my readily available in my wallet, the surety company will go ahead and advance that money to the parties who are harmed. And it could be the signer, it could be a third party who is indirectly harmed by my actions. After the surety company sends that check today, which could be 25,000, they're going to turn around and come to me and say, Michelle, you owe us 25,000. So yeah, the surety bond is not insurance. It is a bond that surety companies, they do not expect any claim to ever be paid out. But if a claim is paid, if funds are paid out, the notary is responsible for paying it back to the surety company. So that's why this is a big deal. 50,000 is a lot, especially when you look at the notary bond amounts for notaries in other states. Illinois notaries, their bond amount is just $5,000. Georgia, $0. Their notaries do not have to be bonded. Mississippi, $5,000. New York, $0. California, 15,000. Florida, no bond at all unless you are a remote notary. Pennsylvania, $10,000. Washington, D.C., $2,000. Tennessee, $10,000. So you see the disparity there. Again, this all goes back to how we got here. Again, I'm not going to rehash that in this video. I am going to stay true to my purpose and restrict the comments to be towards the application fee and the notary surety bond, which we have done. All right. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to encourage you to post your questions below. I expect you will have questions. I may not have all the answers. I know that I will be sending an email and reaching out to my probate judge's office with questions that I have that will help me to better understand what to expect on September 1, 2023. When we get back together next time, we are going to talk about the new background check that we notaries have to undergo in order to be approved for our notary commission. And yeah, it's a lot. I think that we will just focus on that one thing. But again, there's plenty more ahead for us to cover between now and September the 1st. If you haven't obtained a copy of the new law, which is again Act number 2023-548. You can download a copy easily by going to trainalabama.com, TRAIN Alabama.com. And right on that page, you will see a list, well, two things that pertain to the Alabama Notary Accountability Act. The first one will allow you to download the law that was signed by Governor Kay Ivey. And then there will be a second link that you can click to be scheduled for a live Zoom meeting with other notaries throughout the state, where you'll be able to ask questions and we can talk more about how we got to this point. Why did our legislators feel that it was necessary to make such drastic changes to our existing notary laws? Again, thank you for tuning in. I look forward to your questions. I will post those links to trainalabama.com below in the description. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.